Hey, welcome back to Mikey Works. We're doing a little more work on the car right now, and I'm trying to get it set up so that I'm on a rotisserie so that I can do a little work on the pans and the body. I had borrowed a rotisserie from a friend. It had been used on somebody else's car. You can kind of see it right back there. It's massive. It's a lot more than what I need. That's made for putting a whole car and chassis on the rotisserie, and it's a ton more than what I need. It's going to take up more space in the car, so I decided to go with something alternate, and I'm gonna actually build a wooden rotisserie. It's basically just a T-frame, because then they can stand the pans up on their side and do the body work that I need to on the pans, which is attaching the pans to the chassis and the center tube and any of the welding or work that I want to do there. So let's walk over and take a look at the body and show you what I'm talking about. So here we are with the body or the chassis, and I've just test fit and kind of laid the pans on that I have. Everything is down to bare metal right now. This is all blasted down, and you can see what I've done in the rear is I've got this I got a 6-foot section of 2x4 and hooked a piece of 2x6 to the bottom, little gusseting, and I mounted it right to the transmission mount points. So I can physically just roll the thing up on its side, and hopefully that'll support it and it'll keep it off the ground. It'll allow me to do what I need to do. And then when I want to work, so that'll let me work on that side being up nice and high. When I want to flip to this side, that's easy. You just take that and you flip it over, and you roll it the other way. So here on the front, it's a little different. Here's the suspension, front suspension fully exposed. Get my shadow out of there. There are 4 mounting bolts, 1, 2, 3, and 4 that hold this ball joint front suspension in place. Ball joint suspension being a little different than the link pin suspension, and you can see the ball joints there and there. A link pin would actually be a vertical piece that would be right in place there. So on this ball joint suspension, I'm going to take that whole thing off. I'm going to dismount it. So I got it jacked up with the jack right now. Those 4 bolts, boom, 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 they come right out. And then you're just gonna have the frame head. So we're gonna watch me do that right now. Okay, so here we go. I've got the front end jacked up. I've got it lifted so that when I do take this front beam off, the suspension will come loose, but the whole pan won't slam to the ground. It's a 19mm bolt on each of these 4 points. Just take your time. These bolts have probably been in here since 1971. It's 2022, so that's 51 years. If you're gonna take them out with an impact driver, just take them out easy and slow. Otherwise, you're gonna risk snapping them off, so just nice and easy. All right, there's one. Just kind of work it out. So it's kind of laying on the tie rod up here for the front wheel. There it goes. Just lifts right off, and it's out of place. Okay. Get this wheel chock out of the way. Now we can literally just roll our front wheels right out of our way. They're gonna want to wobble. All right, so here we have the head of the front beam and the center tunnel. You can see it goes right down through there. There's all kinds of tubes and whatnot that are run down through there from the factory. So what we're gonna do on this one is I'm gonna take a piece of plywood and kind of cut it out the same size as the frame head and use the same bolts, mark the pattern, and put those through the plywood, and then use the 2x4 on its vertical to brace right to the plywood, so that when I roll it up on side, it's nice and strong and ready to go. So let's go ahead and let me see if I can mock that up for you. Okay, so I had some old scrap plywood, just kind of went in and cut it. It's roughly 16 by 9. So just a little bit longer than the whole pan, or the whole head of the frame. So you see it'll fit right on there, to bolt right on there. Now we have our 4 bolt marks, and it'd be a pain in the butt to try to. I guess I could go through from the back with a pencil. The alternative is we use our frame, our suspension, come in from the backside and mark right through. So that's what I'm gonna do. Okay, here we go. I've got the braces put on, and you can see how I mounted it to the frame head here. I used the OEM bolts that came from the front beam, and I just put some light copper sleeves on there. I just had some old copper laying around from a plumbing project, and I just cut some sleeves down to fit. And it's sandwiched the board right up against the frame head. So we're gonna take the jack down, lower the jack down, and I'm gonna take these pan halves off because they're just sitting there. They're not actually attached right now. I just put them in there for demonstration purposes. We're gonna take them off and then roll this thing up on the side. Okay, it's do or die time. Either this works or it doesn't. So I'm gonna lower the jack down a little bit so that it puts that end on the ground, so it makes it easier to tip. There we go. Now I'm just literally gonna roll it right up on the side, see how this works. I'm gonna work from the back because most of the weight's in the back still. Wants to slide and walk a little bit, but get out. And there we go. All right, there we go. That's the end result. That's what I wanted. So now I can do any of the metal work that I need to do. Like I'm gonna take the heater controls off. I can set the pan halves in. I can get rid of the old leftover pieces of the pan halves while it's up on the stand. It's out of the way because you can see I have a 2-car garage, but I also have a bunch of kids. So there's a bunch of bikes over here. I've got my tools, there's sporting goods, there's other crap. I don't have a lot of space. And having it up on the vertical really helps out. I can hook the pan halves on, and when I need to, easily just set it back down, flip the ends, and bolt it right back up, but I can flip it the other way. I could have made the pieces a little bit longer. I still can. I can hook some more of these to the other end. As those boards are the same length, it'll just be a little closer to the ground. I thought they were 8-foot 2x4, so I cut 2 feet off the end. But you know, measure twice, cut once, live and learn. But this is our chassis.